For this assignment, I chose to interview a friend of mine who suffered a stroke at the young age of 21. Prior to his stroke, he was a very active and athletic individual. He was the captain of a swim team in high school, he played in volleyball tournaments with his father, was an avid flying trapeze enthusiast, and an all-around active person. But most of all, he was a collegiate gymnast at the College of William & Mary. However, all that changed on January 10th, 2013, just one day before his 22nd birthday. I asked him a few questions, but he did most of the talking. First, I asked him what it felt like, what the stroke felt like. Here's his response, his words. I was in the training room before practice, turned over to lie on my stomach when everything changed in less than the blink of an eye. I had the worst head pain of my life, felt nauseous, and could not align my eyes to see one single image. Despite my medical history, I convinced myself I was having just a terrible migraine. I tried sipping on some water, which I then proceeded to spill all over myself. I put a towel over my head to see if blocking the light would make me feel better. But after nothing was helping, and when a few minutes passed, I managed to slur a somewhat comprehensible sentence to my athletic trainer that I needed to go to the emergency room. Then I asked him what the most challenging part of this whole life-changing event was. I think the worst part was the acceptance, because just 1 week after being in the peak physical shape of my life, I was now unable to run, walk, jump, throw, or even stand up without others completely assisting me. A doctor with a more pessimistic outlook on life told me that those aspects may never come back, and I may never be able to walk or stand independently again. After about a month of inpatient care in physical therapy hospital, I made leaps and bounds to being able to live more normally. From being unable to stand, I was able to leave the hospital with the assistance of just a walker. As a persistent person by nature, I did not want people to pity or help me. I wanted to be independent again, and I stubbornly decided that I would be. Fast forward another month, and I had relearned to walk without the help of another person or device. I then asked if he returned to college after that. His response was, yes, but everything had changed. Not only were basic things extremely challenging for me to do, but I had also gained a noticeable amount of weight, especially when comparing myself to my teammates, other athletes, and the individual I was a few months prior. Instead of going down the dark road I had been on and coming out as a homosexual a few years prior, I used the negative effects of the stroke to inspire me to take steps I otherwise would not have. Early in the spring, though it was a distant dream at the time, I promised myself that I would complete a 5K. Running had never been my strongest talent, but it gave me something to work to. I then proceeded to ask him if he had accomplished that dream. His response was, in mid-November of that year, that dream became a reality. Though the time was not the best, and I am sure I did not look great throughout, I managed to run the race in the same year of the stroke that nearly took my life. After that, I knew that no door will be closed to me, so long as I set my mind to a goal and worked hard to accomplish it. Since then, I've been pushing my boundaries as far as they can go. On January 10th, 2015, I ran a half marathon, exactly 2 years from the illness that caused me to be completely immobile. Last year, I completed my first Spartan sprint race, consisting of 4+ miles, 23 obstacles, and lots of mud, hills, and sweat. Along the way, I started playing fetch with my dog, joined a kickball team, and even scored some runs. Started hiking again, rode a bike around my city, swam laps at my local gym, successfully completed several CrossFit workouts, and had gone rock wall climbing with friends. I even relearned some of the gymnastics I was told I would never do again. My most recent goal is to learn a standing back tunk on the flat ground, a feat which even I would have laughed at a measly 2.5 years ago. And now, on January 9th, 2017, I will be running the Walt Disney World Marathon. After that, who knows what will be in store for me? My last question was a hard one. I asked him if he was happy with his progress. His response was, it has been a little over 3 years since I was a naive college boy, but I had grown to be a man who has learned that life has a lot it can throw at you. The challenge is not to avoid it, but to embrace whatever hand you are dealt. Learn from it, grow from it, and let it make you into a stronger person. I'll never be the athlete that I once was, but this terrible infliction has made me into a stronger person that I could never imagined I would be.